I've come to realize that a country is best not seen as a spreadsheet or a set of averages, but as a collection of neighborhoods.
We are calling this research project A Town Called Tomorrow.
What are the unique characteristics of different kinds of communities? Could we get beyond the traditional definitions of rural versus urban, coastal versus middle America? That brings me to this report.
It is a mosaic that reveals a complexity and a richness that really surprised us.
We're trying to help people understand the changing world of work.
We believe that tech is a way of poverty.
Without the employees, I couldn't have done it. Couldn't have done it without the guys.
It really becomes a frame to illuminate the kinds of solutions that communities around the country can pursue together.
That's why we call this A Town Called Tomorrow.
Good morning. I am so happy to wake up in the sunshine. I live in Portland, Oregon, which from July 4th until about now is beautiful sunshine. It's a little secret that we keep, but now the rain comes and we had about 5 days of literally buckets of rain. So to fly over to Boise and wake up in the sunshine, it was really a wonderful part of my week. And this is my first time at EDventure. I will be fully transparent. This is my first time speaking in a TED-style way, so bear with me. You are my test audience. Hopefully, I get a good rating at the end of the remarks. One of the things that really struck me when I heard Tim talk last night is that EDventure is about experimentation. It's about learning, and we're all on this lifelong learning. And as the speakers have spoken today, I've already picked up 5 things that I'm gonna take home that are new to me. And I hope that what I'm here to share with you is something that you can also add to your learnings and take back to you. The video you just saw, A Town Called Tomorrow, comes from things that have completely changed American life. Everything from the Industrial Revolution, the assembly line, the automobile, which allows us to get where we need to go, the telegraph, and the smartphones that I think I see every single one of you having in front of your hands or maybe in your pocket. Those were novel when they came out, but now they're normal. They gave us new ways to move around our country, to get the things that we needed, like groceries, see people that maybe live far away. I have parents who are on the East Coast. I moved out west 20 years ago, and in 5.5 hours, I can be with my mom and dad, and it's the most amazing thing. American work changed over this time too, with more people moving from farms to cities. They were able to be taught more things, have gainful employment, increase wages, and provide a good life for themselves and their families. Automation, where we're headed, automation, this thing that has happened over the most part of this century, is our generation's assembly line. Millions of workers, and we've talked this morning about the children that are in school, and Chantel, thank you so much for sharing your stories, because I think the number one thing we can take away from her remarks that leads into mine is about being prepared. We have to adapt, and we have to adapt quickly to the way that technology and automation is streaming itself into not just our workforce, but also into the ways that we learn. And this is what I want to talk to you about today. I'm Debbie Herron. I'm the Director of Public Affairs and Government Relations with Walmart. I've been with the Walmart family for about 8 years. My day job is public policy and elected official relationships. But they let me moonlight for things like this that I care about: education, youth, children, and these are things that are my passion, as well as leading girl-led adventures when I wear a trefoil pin. And for any of you who haven't found your person yet, I'm gonna drop some clues about who I am in case you need to find me. So let me see a show of hands. How many of you have middle school age children? How many of you did any of your holiday shopping last year online or maybe do it every week? And any of you, keep those hands up, I want to see. Okay, so pretty much everybody. Are any of you planning on not doing holiday shopping online this year? One person. Awesome. Hats off to you, and I want to hear how that goes. But that goes to show that these two things, our youth and what they're doing in school, is intricately tied or intimately tied to the things that make our day-to-day lives easier. Technology, even here using a tablet to kind of remind myself of my remarks. It's only week 2, and my middle schooler is so excited about the technology that's in her classroom. We live in a school district where voters approved a levy so that all 6th, 7th, and 8th graders have a Google Chromebook. They do all of their learning with cloud-based apps. Homework on a written page is almost non-existent anymore. And that's different. Schools are different all across the country, but this is my example. And so technology, we know, is simplifying our everyday lives, and automation is part of that trend. And automation can be seen as scary. It can be seen as ominous, threat of widespread job displacement. But I'd really like to offer to you that automation is also an opportunity. It's an opportunity for humans to focus on the things that humans do best and get higher skilled, higher paid jobs, while technology stands in for the tedious and repetitive tasks. And I can give you a couple examples of what we're doing at Walmart. We're doing some new jobs differently. For example, we've hired 40,000 people to be personal shoppers. They're the ones who fulfill your grocery order, your online order, if you use our Walmart apps. That job didn't exist 3 years ago, and now we have 40,000 people doing something that's new that only humans can do. And we've invested in autonomous floor scrubbers that clean our floors so that our humans can work with customers. We've invested in new technology that reduces the time of unloading a truck by 1/3. It's called a fast unloader. You'll never see that. It's in our back room, but it's there. And again, it helps our associates work with the people that are coming in and out of our front doors. The key here is that we have a choice, and we can help workers and communities prepare and be resilient so that no one gets left behind. Our focus is on retraining and upskilling and preparing people for those jobs of tomorrow. We want communities to have their able-bodied workforce be part of this new economy. Yet it's hard. It's really hard when you're at the city government, whether you're at school districts, whether you're in workforce partnerships. It's really hard to put together a plan of how do we get to where we need to be so those children that are in our schools have the jobs that they need when they graduate. And it's not necessarily about going to college, but it's about being prepared to be a contributing adult. A lot of the research on this topic has looked at big contradictions, coast and Midwest, urban, rural divides. And we at Walmart thought, well, what if you take a look at the nuances, the spaces between communities versus the big contradictions? And that's the insight that I want to take a look at today. This report, America at Work, which you see on the screen, is something that we dived into with McKinsey Global and in collaboration with the Association of National Governors, National Association of Counties, U.S. Conference of Mayors, Aspen Institute, and many others. And it resulted in a brand new way of looking at the country, not just state by state, but county by county. It's a hyper-local look at the factors within each of these communities. And it builds on a research database that applied numerous measures of resiliency across 5 broad categories around innovation, development, socioeconomic, economic base, and human capital. It's the first effort to understand how the 3,000 counties across our country have things in common, whether you're in Idaho or Mississippi, to draw on my friend's comments earlier. And I might just move there, but hopefully you'll have a chance to take a look at our report and you can see how there are commonalities between places that you wouldn't necessarily expect. The report includes specific steps that these localities can take to prepare for the future of work and provides ideas for specific interventions that local leaders can make to make sure that their workforce can become more resilient. And from this analysis, we proposed 6 principal responses: retraining and upskilling, boosting mobility in the labor market, building and maintaining infrastructure, creating new jobs, modernizing the social safety net, and strengthening education. And I think that's where all of you come into play. We'll take a look at Idaho, which is a pretty cool example of the report. You'll see on this map, and I apologize, it's a little bit spread out, but Idaho has 6 of the 8 archetypes that were identified in the America at Work report, but no urban areas. And it even has, in the light blue shaded area, a county that we call, or that was determined to be a great escape. There's only a handful of them across the whole country, and it's just what it sounds like. It's a place where people go to escape and rejuvenate. In this case, it's the iconic Sun Valley area of Idaho. But more importantly, I want to draw your attention to the 5 counties that are called rural service hubs. And you'll see those in it's kind of this block of yellow that is down here at the bottom. These are counties that probably look very similar to places in your own states. They're usually located off of highways and act as distribution points. They're the places where people come to shop, see a doctor, maybe have a little bit of light manufacturing. The workers are primarily in the sectors of retail, healthcare, local government, and manufacturing. But the thing that makes these counties stand out is that anywhere from 38 to 57% of the existing work tasks, not the jobs, but the tasks in these communities face potential automation. So this is a place where skills-based hiring and expanded training that bridges that gap between the at-risk jobs and the growing jobs has the biggest potential to build resiliency. Resiliency to automation is not determined by location. That's the biggest thing that we found by undertaking this research. It's tied to human capital, to economics, investment, and innovation. At Walmart, our resiliency starts with training and upskilling. We've created a program called Walmart Academy, which are 200 on-the-job training centers at physical stores around the country. And that's a program for our newly promoted managers and hires to go and learn about the departments that they're running, P&L, executive presence, a whole magnitude of training programs. And then we also created an initiative just in the last 2 years with Guild Education called Live Better You. You don't need a college degree to come and work at Walmart. In fact, every job that we have posted, including my own, says on the criteria X number of years of work experience or a college degree. But we know that when people come to work for us, they want to expand their learning. They do want to grow their education. And we thought, how can we as a company with 1 million associates across the country remove some of those barriers so that if people want to go to college, they can? With Guild Education, we created a program where any associate in the country, any associate, full-time, part-time, whether you're a cashier or whether you're in the government affairs department like myself, can go to college and get a degree in 14 subjects for $1 a day for the time that you're enrolled. I have a niece who isn't really sure about college, isn't quite sure what she's going to do. She's a junior in high school. And this might be a program that helps her. It gives her a place to have a job, but also a place to access education for a price that is almost unbeatable. We've expanded our jobs and our stability for our workforce, and we're all here because of the investments that we've made in our own communities. There's more work that we can do, and I hope that we can go down this path together. We need to strengthen our employment pipelines and help stabilize these communities and get our communities shared for the future. On the screen, you'll see the website. Take a look at the data. What does your hometown, your home county have in common, maybe with someone that you're sitting next to at the table or someone else that you've met through the networking here at EDventure? Start talking to your leaders at home or leverage networking that you do across the country. We all know the workplace is going to look a lot different in the next few years. It already is, and that's in every sector. Automation is going to redefine how work happens. And we all have a role, companies, governments, workforce, students, and education at all levels. We're at the start of this journey. I really hope that you spend some time and dive into this report and take it home with you, take it into your tomorrow, and let's work, put our hearts and minds together to build that town of tomorrow. Thank you.